numerals on both sides. So when you have these questions, you're going to see that there's something like 8x on this side and a 6x on the other side. So there's an x on each side of the equation. What you should always do when this happens, because we're actually trying to find out what x is equal to, it's easier if there's only one of them. So the first step is to always try to collect up your x's, and to do that you should do the opposite to move your smaller x term. So out of 8x and 6x, 6x is smaller, so because that's a positive 6x term, I'm going to subtract the whole 6x term away. Now that means that these 6x's will cancel off. Notice that I have all the x's underneath each other because that makes it easier to collect things. On the left hand side, 8x take away 6x is 2x. I still have the plus 5. And on the right hand side, the 6x's are gone, but we still have the 11. So now that I've done that, there is only one x left in my equation, and that is what I need to get all by itself. So on the left hand side of that equation with my x, there's a 2 and there's a 5. So I'm going to need to do 2 steps to get that x by itself. First of all, I'm going to have to get rid of the 5. So the opposite of a plus 5 is to minus 5. The 5's are crossed off, so 2x equals 11 take away 5 is 6. Now there's only that 2 still there with the x. It's multiplied with the x. So the opposite is to divide by 2. Cross them off. The x is now by itself, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. That is the answer. All right, we've done one question. We're just going to do a lot more of them to practice, and hopefully they'll get easier. So question 2, we can see that we have 4y on one side and y on the other. Remember that a y by itself is a 1y. So the smaller of the two terms is the 1y. So the opposite would be to minus y. Put the y's underneath each other. So the y's will cancel off. 4y take away 1y is 3y. I still have the minus 2 equals, and on the right side I still have the 9. So I'm trying to get the y all by itself, so I need to get rid of the 3 and the minus 2. Remember that you're working from further away and gradually getting closer to that y. So the further number is the 2. The opposite is to plus 2. Cancel that off. 3y is equal to 9 plus 2 is 11. Then for the second step I need to get rid of the 3. The 3 is times with the y, so I need to do the opposite, which is divide by 3. Y is now by itself. Unfortunately, 11 over 3 does not go nicely, but when I type it in my calculator, I can press Shift SD and it will turn it into a mixed numeral for me. So that's 3 2/3 for the answer. Question 3. Looking for the x's, I have 2x and 5x. We want to move the smaller one. 2x is smaller, so the opposite will be to minus or subtract 2x. Cross those off. Now, because the x's on the left-hand side have crossed away, I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to move the things that are on the left-hand side of my equation. I'm going to do them first and put them over on the left side. 5x take away 2x is 3x, and I have the plus 3. Equal sign. On the right-hand side, I had that 9, so it's also switching sides and it's coming over to the right. Now, I'm trying to work out what x is equal to. I need to move these 3's away. So remember, we're starting further away and working our way closer and closer to that x. So the 3, this one here on the end, the plus 3, has to get moved first. I need to subtract it to cancel that off. 3x is now by itself. 9 take away 3 is 6. And now I can get rid of the 3 that's in front of the x. It's timesed, so the opposite is to divide by 3. X is now by itself, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Question 4, if you're getting the hang of this, you could always pause the video and try one of these out for yourself and then check with the video to see if you get it right. Question 4, I have 4a and 2a. The 2a is smaller, so to move it, I'm going to subtract 2a. Cancel that away. 4a take away 2a is 2a. I also have the plus 9, and that's equal to 3. Getting the a by itself, I have a 9 and a 2 to move away. The 9 goes first. I need to subtract 9. 2a is still there, and 3 take away 9 is negative 6. Last step is to get rid of this 2. It's times with the a, so I divide by 2. A is finally by itself. Minus 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Question 5, we have 3w and negative 2w. Now don't forget about that minus sign. 3 and minus 2, the minus 2 is smaller. So to do the opposite of minus 2w, you want to plus 2w. That will cancel that term. 3w plus 2w makes 5w plus 1 equals 11. Okay, we're trying to get the w by itself. So I'm going to get rid of this 1 by subtracting it. That gives 5w equals 10. And the second step, I want to get rid of the 5. So I'll need to divide by 5 to get rid of that. W is by itself. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, and the time for the next one. 7m and minus 3m. We're looking for the smaller one. Negative numbers are always smaller than positive numbers, so negative 3 is the smallest. The opposite is to plus 3m. Cancel those off. Adding these m's together, 7 plus 3 makes 10m plus 2 is equal to 22. Then, to get the m by itself, I have to get rid of the 10 and the 2. The 2 will move next. The opposite is to subtract 2. 10m equals 22 take away 2 is 20. And one more step, I need to get rid of the 10. It is currently timesed, so the opposite is to divide. M is by itself, and 20 divided by 10 is 2. A lot of 2's in our answers here. Question 7. We have negative 5r, and on this side, we've actually got 2r terms. So before we can move things across to get them all to swap sides, we need to collect up the ones that are on the same side. Now that is just adding together like terms. So I'm not going to do anything to the left-hand side of this equation yet. 12 minus 5r, but minus 6r plus 7r being next to each other, minus 6 plus 7 makes 1, or just r. Now I have just got an r term on that side and 1 on that side. Minus 5 is smaller than 1, So I want to do the opposite of minus 5, which is to plus 5r. This term will cancel off. Let's switch sides. So r, which is 1r, plus 5r makes 6r. And the 12 that was on the left, we're moving across to the right over here. Then there's just one more step to do, which is to get rid of that 6. It's times, so we need to divide by 6. R is by itself, and 12 divided by 6 is 2 again. One last question. If there's brackets, you always expand those first. A reminder on how to expand brackets. We times 5 with 2x. 5 times 2 is 10x. We have a minus sign in the bracket, and then we multiply 5 times 6, which is 30. Okay, just write the right-hand side of the equation down again, unchanged. Now we can see that we have x's on both sides of that equation. We have 10x and we have 7x. 7x is smaller, so to do the opposite, I will subtract 7x. Gets rid of that. 10 take away 7x is 3x. Take away 30 is equal to negative 9. Now, I have my one little x here and I want to get it by itself. The first thing I need to do is add 30. That cancels off. 3x, the 30s have gone, minus 9 plus 30 is a positive 21. The last step, I want to divide by 3. Get rid of that. So x is by itself, 21 divided by 3 is 7. Okay, so that's the end of my examples. Your practice starts here on the next page. There is 3 pages for you to do, and they get trickier, especially on the 3rd page, so keep practicing.